Hello everyone, it's Vivek Patel here from Meaningful Ideas, and I'm just taking a walk at like 3 in the morning because that's my life. Every single night for like a couple of weeks now at least, every single night I find myself sometime after midnight, I'm out and about, walking around and just thinking about life. And I was thinking, and just now I was crafting this message that I want to share with my kid. Because when I share a message with my kid, I'm very intentional about it. I want to make sure that I'm clean emotionally inside. I want to make sure that I'm doing it for the right reasons and not trying to get something or trying to do something or manipulate her to ease my own comfort, right? I don't want anything like that. I really want to be clear. The reason that I have to be a little bit quiet. I'm in the neighborhood. I want to be really clear that the reason I'm communicating with her is because it's for her benefit, right? But not her benefit to do what I think she needs to do, but her benefit that she can find out what she wants to do. That's always my guidance. My guidance isn't to try and get her to do something. Is to try and help her with her decision making to be as authentic and well-informed as possible. That's what I focus on. Can you see the difference in mindset, right? I can't control her behavior if my focus is on helping her with decision making. My focus is not on controlling her behavior, or on controlling kids' behavior. My focus is on helping them learn decision making. Part of the focus is helping them learn decision making by actually experiencing decisions, right? But it's not only that. It's the decisions are informed and they're supported. Because it's a long-term guidance to teach kids how to do that. We expect it right away, and that's why we make them conform, because the behavior isn't working right away. But what learning is right away? Like I still the right away thing doesn't match with reality. In reality, we don't learn right away. We learn through repeated experiences and practice and deepening our knowledge. Which brings me to why I'm out here at 2:30 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Because I'm still thinking about that. How am I going to tell my kid? And it's a lovely thing I want to talk to her about. About feeling like our family is, over 2 decades, we worked very hard to be able to be comfortable with each other, to be able to share our true selves with each other. My daughter shares her struggles with us and is very vulnerable about it. Very, very vulnerable. And she feels safe to do it. She knows she's not going to get judged. She knows that she's also not going to get pity. That's the thing. We're not going to worry about her. We're so careful not to worry about her, or not to let her see that we worry about her. Sometimes we go on like a little worry binge, and then we have to come back to ourselves. Okay, wait. The whole thing we're doing is trusting her path. So okay. Let's recenter. Because we're human, right? But still, her overall experience is us trusting her path, but not from a disengaged distance, from a deeply involved, because we're in it together, right? All 3 of us were in it together. It's very deeply integrated. And so I want to share that appreciation with her, but I want to get it just right. And so I'm saying it in my mind over and over. And I go to the bus stop, and I'm just sitting on the bench in the bus stop. And then suddenly, thinking about that, I wrote this whole piece about designing your relationship around the needs of your child and how that relates to the bus shelter, which I'm not going to tell you right now, but because it was beautiful. But I wrote the whole thing in voice to text, and then suddenly I realized where I was, because I was so deep into that article, and then I got up and I'm walking, and I'm just laughing at myself. It's 3 in the morning, and it's when I write this brilliant article. I think it's brilliant. I think all my writing is brilliant. I love my writing. Every time, whenever I'm at home and I'm writing, I'll write something, and I'll just yell out to my family, "I love my writing. I'm such a good writer." Partially, it's true. Partially, what a beautiful model to set for my kid, right? That I can celebrate that. It's not like I'm saying, "Oh, I'm a great writer, I'm better than everyone." No, it's just that the writing gives me joy. Like when I wrote that thing about seeing hearing the coyotes howling, and the last line I said, "I love the wildlife. I love this wildlife in the city," and then the last line was, "I am also wildlife in the city." And I just thought that's such a great line, and I wrote that, and I just yelled out, "Hey, I'm such a great writer. Come over, listen to what I just wrote." And then everybody runs over, and we all celebrate together. And that's one of the things, right? We do this celebration all the time. We're always celebrating and it's very intentional. Again, that's very intentional for me. So here's my point. The title of this video was, I invite you to overthink. So here I am, 3 in the freaking morning. Tomorrow I have to get up early and take my sister to a eye appointment on the other side of town. I should really be asleep. And I'm thinking about my kid, and I'm thinking about you, because otherwise why would I go live? Because I love you and I want to help you with your parenting, right? I want you to have the kind of ridiculously close, trusting, with no barriers, almost no barriers to trust relationship that I have with my 24-year-old, you know, because she has been rigorously treated non-coercively for 2 decades. It's a big deal, you know. There's nothing to not trust at that point. It's that kind of feeling. And I want to help people get there, because it's hard at first, right? Because all the patterns, you have to undo all the patterns, and it's like, and the patterns are strong. No, that's why I say conscious parenting is a warrior's path. There's no way around it, you know. It's a fight every day, and I'm in that fight every freaking. That's why it's 3 in the morning. Tell me I'm not in the fight every day. I'm looking at the moon. I'm howling at the moon, and I'm praying for insight so I can help my child and help myself. And help you. So my point is, you know, my relationship with my kid, even at 24, because of the openness and the trust that we have, I still feel like this weight of responsibility. It's a big responsibility. It's her brain, it's her soul, it's her life, it's the way she sees the world. Is it possible to trust someone? I have so much trouble trusting people. So much trouble. Like I have to bend over and go, okay, I gotta trust this person just for a moment, and we'll just see what happens. And I just take a little step. Oh, I took a step. Oh, I trusted someone. I didn't want her saddled with that intense mistrust. Oh fuck, right? I wanted her to have at least one freaking fucking person that she could trust unreservedly, so she at least knows it's possible. Not naively. I teach her what we've explored what the world is like. Teachers and other kids and other adults and whatever, you know, she understands the world. It's not like I'm the only person she interacts with. She interacts with the world, but with me it's different. Our relationship is not included in the rest of the world. No, our relationship is unconditional. It's just us, right? And it's unconditional, and that's it. You know. Now, of course, I'm not perfect at that. I screw up all the time. But the overall direction is always that. I call it stumbling with purpose. I'm always stumbling, but I'm stumbling with purpose, with a purpose. I'm stumbling with purpose. That maybe I should title this video that, stumbling with purpose. Can you stumble with purpose with me? Stumble with purpose with me. You know, what I mean by that is fighting the tendency to coerce, even a little bit. Fighting the tendency to take that iPad out of their hands, even just a little bit, you know. When you take the iPad out of their hands, even with the best of intentions, you are not designing the environment around the needs of the user. Because the user is not happy the user is not happy right now engaging with the environment, right? If they were paying you, they would have stopped paying you. So we need to create this environment where the kids feel engaged, they feel safe, they feel like they matter, you know, like it's like they're not existing in a hierarchy, and that they always have to be looking out for. Am I going to be in trouble? Is this the moment where they're going to exert their authority, or am I safe for another moment? Am I okay to be myself for a moment, or is this something that's going to get me judged or not? And then, I mean, that's how I grew up. I have that twitch in my nervous system. Even with the people who love me the most, I have that freaking twitch in me all the time, you know? You know what I mean? Like, when I say twitch, I mean like this tension that comes over me. Am I going to get judged for this? For this sentence? How about this sentence? Every sentence. And I have a lot of dancer friends, right? I'm a dancer. I do a dance called contact improv. It's a fantastic dance, and I have I have a lot of friends who are brilliant movers, way better than me. But I'm good. I'm pretty good, right? I'm pretty good, so I get to dance. I mean, it doesn't matter with contact improv. It doesn't matter even if you're a beginner or advanced. We all dance together. First of all, although some places are cliquier than others, but But when I'm with people who have amazing body wisdom, amazing body knowledge, and are incredible movers that I'm in awe of, even just walking down the street, I'm thinking, are they watching my hips the way my hips are? Are my hips loose enough? Are my legs at the right angle? And then I'm not even exaggerating. And so like I'm thinking all of this stuff, like, am I going to get judged? Am I going to be cast out of the group? Am I going to be cast out? That's the feeling, right? That's what a punishment is. That's what a consequence is. That's what a criticism is. It's being cast out. And I'm afraid of that in that community because I don't even think I belong in that community. You know, it's just me. Like I'm stumbling. I'm stumbling with purpose, but I'm just stumbling. These people are incredible movers, not me. It took me I think it was 11 years after I started dancing and 20 years after I started martial arts before I allowed myself to say I'm an embodied person. I remember texting my friend Tanya, and who's an amazing dancer. I remember texting her and going, hey Tanya, I just realized something. I'm an embodied person. All my friends always say that, and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I can see that. But I never thought that about myself. But it took me it took me so many years to just allow myself to say something like that. So here's the thing, right? That's another example of the environment not being designed to the user. I want my kid, if they have an interest, even if doesn't matter what their skill level is, if they have an interest to do it, or not do it, but to do what they want to do, not to have all this weight of judgment all over the place. Yes, overthinking. So the point is, this is a really intense and important job. This is a really intense and important role that we play. The role I have the three roles of model, guide, and friend. Model, guide, and friend. That's the three main parenting roles that I teach. And we have these roles, and they're very important because, like I said, it's a person and a soul and their relationship with themselves and all that stuff. So I want to think deeply about it, and I want to encourage you to think deeply about it. Think deeply about your decisions, and expect that the more you learn, the more you delve into it, the more inconvenient your decisions are going to be for a while. Because you kind of built systems around the coercive influence, which you're relying on because it's convenient at times to just get them to get the shoes on, or have the food, or brush the teeth, or get in bed on time. Because if you don't get them to bed on time, and this is valid, if you don't get them to bed on time, then they're grumpy the next day, and they have a bad day the next day, and then they probably have worse sleep that day, and then it's a cycle, and you have to work so hard to get them back on a positive cycle. And parents often will say to me that kind of thing, and I agree that that's an issue that you have to take care of. I just don't think coercion and force are the way to take care of it. I think there are collaborative ways, there are play-based ways, connection-based ways, imagination, story, props, role-playing and practice and discussion and agreements and experimentation. And there's so many different things that we can do, right? So many different things that we can do where our kids never need to feel forced. Actually, the whole thing can be interesting as a family to explore this idea together, whatever it is, whether it's sleep or food or toothbrushing, and all the pressure goes off because it's not there's not a hierarchy of one person trying to force their values on someone else, right? Even if we are their guides, actually we become much more accessible as guides. Imagine you're, well, I think of myself. I was a martial arts teacher for many years, right? I started doing martial arts in 1988. I was just such a punk kid, but my teacher was very patient and very kind, and he was a father figure to me in many ways, and really very much a lot of who I am is actually because of him, and I'm very grateful to him. And I'm not saying his name for privacy's sake, but let me just say that I am very grateful to him, and a lot of who I am is that. So, and then I ended up teaching, and I had him as my guide as a teacher. One of the things that he did all the years that I was with him the tests, whenever we had tests, it was really serious. There's a heaviness around it, you know. It's like intensity, like your life is on the line, your honor is on the line. But he never failed anyone. No one could fail. It wasn't a pass or fail test, because it was just life. It was demonstrating who you were in that moment. And you can't be anything other than you are. And who you are is perfect for who you are in that moment. And he was like acknowledging that and holding up a standard at the same time of what he hopes for relative to the work that we're doing and the test that you're going for. So it's kind of both, right? And so nobody ever failed. Everybody always passed. But you felt each mistake very differently, knowing that you were going to pass anyways. You felt it, right? And so for me, when I started teaching, I had that thought. I was like, I love the no judgment of grades and stuff. And so I did the exact same thing. I copied that precisely, and I was like, nobody passes or fails. What we do is we just examine where you're at, you know, and it was always really beautiful, and so then I'm teaching this class and these students and teaching them to defend themselves, and you know, I've studied a lot of martial arts and I've studied a lot of self-defense, and it's been a few years since I've really been in the community because I retired from teaching to focus on the parenting. But you know, I've been invited to go to an international martial arts summit in the UK, all expenses paid. A few years ago, there was only 2 people from each country represented, and I was one. And so I've been doing martial arts for a long time, showing off a little bit, and so you know, to be a guide and to teach the stuff that I was teaching, you know, if I was yelling at people, if I was making them feel bad about themselves, if I was taking myself too seriously and demanding respect because of my title or my belt, if I was, you know, if students, you know, like, if I was doing a technique and it didn't work and I would blame the student, that happens, teachers love doing that. It's because you fell wrong. Never in my life have I said that. Even when the student says, "Oh, I fell wrong," I'm like, "No, that was me. You fell that way because either I let you, or the light came on in the bus shelter all of a sudden. Either I let you, or I didn't cover my angles, or I didn't have your joints locked properly." And then I kick him in the head and say, "But I still can kick you in the head." And so then we move on. But why would I need to defend that, right? Because then my student and I remember there's a couple of times I remember. I gotta get out of this light. I don't like being in the light like this. A couple of that's the ninja in me, right? I want to get out of the light. And it sounds different out here. I didn't think I'd go live for this long, but I just love sharing my thoughts with you. I really love it, you know, and I just love that there's a few people on with me at like ridiculous in the morning. That's what time it is. I don't even want to know. 3:13, ridiculous in the morning. Anyway, so like these people, they put their lives and their hearts very much, because martial arts is very emotional. They put their lives and their hearts in my hands. To be a guide is a serious business. I thought very deeply about teaching. Every week I would go over my class and over every interaction, and I would think about it and how could I improve and how could I be more empowering. Right? And so with my parenting, no less. I want it to be no less. So I invite you to overthink. I invite you to think about your interactions and your choices, and also how you treat yourself. I invite you to overthink about loving yourself. You know, I had a friend recently telling me that they struggle because they're a perfectionist. And I said, well, my one-liner about that is, in order to be a perfectionist, your definition of perfection has to be perfect. And what I mean by that is, we have to include how we deal with failure. I want to deal with failure perfectly. If you're truly a perfectionist, you would want to deal with failure perfectly, which means no blame, no shame, and yet maximum learning. I call it maximum change, minimum shame. Think about that, right? Maximum change, minimum shame. I say maximum minimum because we can never be perfect and complete, but we strive for maximum change. Something happens, maximum change, I want to learn from it. That's the overthinking. In quotes, overthinking. It's like beautiful thinking, in my opinion. But anyways, maximum change, and then minimum shame, because I'm a perfectionist, so I want to love myself through the mistake. Still feel the remorse for anyone that might be hurt, because that's a beautiful thing. Because part of the perfectionism is allowing myself to feel things vulnerably. But the shame part, that's the layer of wrongness. That's the layer of seeing myself as wrong that I don't need. It doesn't actually help. It doesn't make me more loving. It doesn't make me more aware. It actually makes me not want to look at it because it hurts too much. And so this is what I call being comfortably wrong, right? We can be comfortably wrong when the shame isn't there, but the self-honesty is on high alert. And that's something that happens in a state of self-compassion. And so this is the thing, right? When we can be compassionately, consistently self-evaluating, specifically in alignment with a set of values, and I'm recommending the non-coercive collaborative mindset that I teach, where we, to the best of our abilities, gritting our teeth and our lives, on the very edge of existence, we try not to coerce our kids, not to force them, and we try everything else possible in every possible situation. And it's not a relaxing situation here. We're working hard to change the world, right? And change the way humans treat each other, and change the way kids can see themselves and see the world. And my daughter and I are going to go live soon, within the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to ask her a lot of questions about how she sees the world and how she sees people, and what she thinks about, morality, and what she thinks about punishment and consequences, and what she thinks about good people, bad people, and trust, and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be very interesting to hear her thoughts. From being raised 24 years this way, and having this deep, close relationship. So keep an eye out for a poster that I'm eventually going to make once we pick an actual date, and we're going to go live together. And I'm hoping a lot of people are going to watch it. And I think that's it. I think I'm done for tonight. I had no idea I was going to go on this long. I walked over there and I walked over there. Thank you so much for being with me through this. If you stayed through the whole thing, I love you so much. Thank you for hanging out with me. It means so much. I'm going to go to sleep because, like I said, I have to take my sister early in the morning. And I think, am I hearing the birds? No, not yet. Okay, good. So it's not quite that late yet. I can still get to sleep. Please follow me here on Facebook. If you haven't already, at Meaningful Ideas. Please follow me on Instagram at Meaningful Ideas. Loving my Instagram and doing more. I'm tweeting for the first time in like years. All my tweets are like 2016. Suddenly I'm tweeting like every day. Twice a day actually right now. Maybe even more sometimes. So please follow me on Twitter at Meaningful Ideas. That's like new. And I haven't been asking people to follow me on Twitter, but now I want Twitter followers. And also YouTube, Meaningful Ideas, where I have 75 videos. So great. Love you, everyone. Have a good night. I'm going to go and try and get some sleep. All right. Peace out.